But there are denominations based on scripture interpretations. Like this is the ESV, English Standard Version.
Sure.
There are some people who are King James Version only.
Oh,
So
okay.
and if you're using another version, you should not use that version.
Oh, wow. Virgin?
Version.
You should never use that virgin.
Don't use a virgin.
No.
Unless you need one to like concoct a spell or something.
Sure, or sacrifice.
Capture 3 virgins.
Mm-hmm. I fucking hate this dog. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Letting go. All right, well, welcome to another episode of
Call Him Father.
We're back in Exodus, baby. We're going to be here for a little bit, and things are starting to ramp up.
Ramping up.
We'll get to that in a little bit after we discuss a thing that probably I don't even know if you're interested in.
No, remember I showed you the review.
Oh, there was a good review.
Well, I guess that review was not about us.
The one that said horrible podcast?
No, I did like that review, though. I like being attacked.
Yeah.
No, there was one that said they like the banter.
Sure, in the
Your
beginning.
friends like the banter in the beginning. And then there was another one, we got a DM on Instagram that said, I really like when you get into, quote unquote, into the weeds.
Oh, okay.
Also, my dad.
Right, but that's into the weeds of the Bible, not into the weeds of like
Of our own
spiritual journeys.
Yeah. Man, there's so many variables to this podcast.
Wow.
I like and dislike. We're so dynamic.
It's got so many factors.
Yeah, exactly.
Multifactorial.
Yeah. Is it your spirituality, my spirituality, the Bible itself? What sort of socks are we wearing?
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot going
Gray
on.
today, by the way. You know what? For being anti-pushing the sock agenda, you have the most interesting socks. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I mean, you're asking
Here's
for
what's
it, Joe.
really sad.
You're asking to get sock harassed.
This episode's going to push 1.5 thousand views.
Oh my God, we'll get 1 million.
Do you think that they're all
of the polka
different
dot.
people, or do they return? Are they like, Call Him Father episode 15 was such a good jerk.
Yeah.
I have to go back
For
to
those
that.
who aren't hedonists, there is a section of the viewership that is only here because they like watching people,
Men in socks.
men in podcasting, do socks. Like there's a whole playlist for it, and they just look at their socks and they goon. And if you don't know what gooning is, oh my God, congratulations. You are doing well in life.
Do you think that this is going to like ruin the facade though for them? Addressing it directly?
I think we are on mute right now, and they're just staring at those sweet, sweet polkas.
Like what? I have no idea what their voices even sound like.
No, dude, they're listening to like Meshuggah so that they can't. They're just blasting all their eardrums while they just wank to 70 different porn screens.
Yeah, how many monitors do you think they have in front of their? Like,
Our
I have two back here.
Our followership, I think 3 monitors, because I think you're a well-to-do group of fellas.
Yeah, we like you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to like an extra minute of the podcast.
Just an extra minute, and that's only for our statistics.
Yeah, statistics, please.
We're not
We're
trying
averaging
to-
3 minute view. People view
Dude,
video
that's
for
so
3
rough
minutes.
to post an hour-long thing
Yeah.
and have 3% of it be viewed.
Yeah, people like average view duration 3 minutes.
And 99% of the 3% are guys whacking off to our feed.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the vast majority.
It's such a naughty thing to jerk off.
hey, you guys.
The Bible podcast.
Yeah, the Bible's open, and you guys are coming on the other side of the screen.
Not trying to shame you.
No shame.
just
It's just
kinda
you got to
think-
understand. This isn't what we thought we were doing.
This is not what we thought we were
We
getting
didn't know
into,
we'd be participating in
but
this.
I'm sure that is also what every OnlyFans girl has claimed ever. So,
Oh, I didn't know.
well, you know,
everyone would be.
I don't
Yeah.
think they like thought that that's the direction life was
Hey,
going
if
to
you guys
go.
comment, we'll be responding directly to you in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, we'll rate your shoes or whatever people.
No. If the channels are rating your shoes, it's Grant. It's not me.
Yeah, that's fine. I went on a few dates with an OnlyFans girl.
Really?
And, yeah. And I obviously couldn't resist, and I found her page. And that was like her big thing was she would honestly rate guys' PPs.
Whoa.
Like they would send her pictures or videos, and she would tell them like bad.
were they all
Good.
like, okay, so there were good reviews too.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the review actually went, but that was like in the menu of things that she offered. That was the top.
Oh,
menu.
wow. Interesting.
So guys are into that.
How'd
apparently.
your review go?
I did not get reviewed. Because here was the thing: is she was obviously she was really hot, but boy, we did not have a lot of common ground.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, but she was She paid for like a 1-bedroom apartment overlooking the city in like Harlem, like West Harlem, all on that money.
Yeah, man. It's big cash, dude.
And she wasn't like top 1%. She was just one of the gals.
That's so crazy.
Like, but she was still really doing well.
Dude, top percentage are earning like multiple millions a month.
I know. It's absurd.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, they talk about how like getting off the gold reserve is what devalued money, but I think it's what we spend it on that devalues money.
Probably. Hey, I've decided that $1 or $5 is worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good at all. Dude, there's this, just talk about the value of money. I saw this thing on Instagram that was like, hey, there's this asteroid or comet or whatever that has enough gold or some sort of precious metal that's worth like 1.8 quintillion that would make, if it landed on the Earth, everyone on Earth would be a billionaire.
But if it landed on the Earth, it would destroy the Earth.
That's also probably true. But also it's like, do you not understand inflation like at all? Like it really bothered me. It was like, if this landed, everyone would be a billionaire. Which would be like, but that means it'd be like a bunch of people having sand. It's like, okay, cool. Sand, we don't pay for stuff
gold
in
is
sand.
also used for stuff now. It's not just
always used
jewelry.
for, yeah, sure.
Like
it's used for like
it's used for like semiconductors.
Yeah.
It's like a very conductive thing. But but inflation is. I was talking to my buddies about this when we were at a bachelor party. But inflation is affecting all realms of life because Kim Kardashian, for her to get popular, she had to have sex with one guy, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Now there was a lady a couple months ago. She had to have sex with 1,000 guys.
Sure.
That's inflation.
That is inflation.
Dicks and pussies are inflating.
Yeah, we mean less.
We mean less.
Yeah, men are less valuable now.
Yeah.
But also,
I guess the woman is the same.
Well, none of those guys are famous.
That's true.
How famous do guys need to get in order to, well, Pete Davidson was famous first. How many dudes are famous just because of how many people they've had sex with? I mean, like Hugh Hefner, but that was also because like the company, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but when you think about him having sex with those ladies, it's not a...
At a certain point, he had to get tired of it. I bet he was like, come into my room, and then they go into the room, and he gets in there, and he's like, we don't have to...
That's why he's always in a robe, dude. He's completely drained at all times.
Probably just hurts.
Whatever, ladies. Yeah. And then, Hugh Hefner, and obviously the two big porn stars. Mm-hmm. Ron Jeremy.
I don't know who Ron Jeremy
is. He's an old porn star.
Okay.
But he's like one of the few guys that people know the name of. You don't, but...
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I don't know, but everyone else is like gets famous and then gets laid.
Right.
No one gets laid and then gets famous, necessarily.
In terms of men.
Yes, in terms of men. Ladies...
I think a long time ago, Cher banged like a fry cook at McDonald's and married him.
What?
And
it's like a stand-up move to marry a guy like that.
Yeah, but it's also like you don't think she was just doing that because it's like the story of it.
No,
they got divorced like a second later.
Oh,
he's not still happily married. I bet not. What dudes are signing prenups?
Cher married a guy, no prenup, a fry cook from McDonald's.
He was like,
so then he's just a millionaire.
He was like a service worker,
and they didn't do a prenup.
I don't know, man.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Cher married a fry cook, and I'm worried about their prenuptial agreement. Yeah. What the hell?
Well, you do wonder if he got away with a little.
Got out like a bandit.
Yeah. I want to be doing so well that I can get married multiple times and they just keep cutting my shit in half and I'm still okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really...
half-life of the thing. I mean, think about Elon Musk, man. I mean, he's doing all right. He's gotten like 80 divorces and he's got 43 kids and, it's crazy.
Yeah, but he could... I mean, that's so funny is like you have enough money to like cure homelessness and you're just putting more people in the world and feeding them instead.
Well, those people aren't homeless. You're making more people exist. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's feels like odd priorities.
Well, that's what happens when you're on a lot of ketamine all the time.
Is he on K?
Oh, he's on apparently tons of K.
Whoa.
Like a constant drip.
You heard it here first. After you heard it, we heard
probably
it
somewhere else. Yeah.
But.
No. There's also a video of him like wonking out. He like they're doing a walkthrough with him, like of I think a Tesla factory or something, and he looks so fucked up.
Dude, I'd love to see him run.
Oh yeah.
See Elon Musk's try and sprint.
I can't. He'd probably hire someone else to sprint for
He
him.
looks like someone whose feet walk like a clown. He looks like his feet don't point straight when he walks.
He looks like duck-footed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of those people around, and we were talking about how I'm getting irrationally upset these days.
That bothers you?
That really bothers. I hate when people walk with their feet out like that. Like not just a little bit, but like a insane amount. Really, it's like, could you
So
not just walk with your feet?
what
I'm gonna be a terrible father.
bothers you. Well, yeah, you gotta be
I'm gonna be a terrible.
gotta be
dad.
patient.
Yeah, I know. Golly, I have so much.
But kids usually their body mechanics are perfect. It's when it's society that fucks them up.
Yeah.
Like they have perfect posture, they have perfect squat form, but then they start looking at screens and video games and computers and stuff,
Dude.
and then they start tilting down
Whoa.
and becoming a question mark. If
Wow.
you look at a kid's posture, it's perfect.
Wow, that's
It's
interesting.
both relaxed and upright.
Wow. I mean, I do remember when I was a kid, I was freaking agile, dude. I was like laying back and I was like bringing my feet back to my hips and then like with my knees together.
Putting your heads-
like
your
laying
legs
all the
behind
way
your head,
back. It was like
sucking your own
no
dick.
problem. I wish I had no interest in that back then, but
Yeah.
I probably could have. And then I was
That's-
like on
what
the
a
ground and I was
cruel
like
joke.
launching up, you
Yeah.
know? I was
Yeah.
doing great.
Oh, you were doing the like ninja to
Yeah,
get
I was
back
doing
up
that
there.
all the time.
Oh wow,
I could do that
do
with
it on beds.
I could do that with no hands. I was
Really?
Yeah, I would just launch myself over with my feet.
Holy shit!
It was like crazy. I was like, I could just do it. It
Yeah.
wasn't like I practiced. It's just you do it.
Such a cruel joke where like you're at your most capable physically, you're most robust, and you're least interested in women, and you're least interest. I mean, you're the most flexible you've ever been. You can't suck your own dick.
Listen,
You have no interest in sucking your own dick.
God knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
right?
it's probably a timing thing.
He's like,
they can't have all this power.
This is no good.
Yeah,
This
that's-
is no-
that's
we
all
can't
the
have-
Infinity
We can't have a
Stones.
cute 5-year-old horny.
Yeah,
just
that'd be-
running up to women, being like, I'm a man. You
Yeah,
know,
that'd
that
be
ain't no
bad.
good. Can't be doing that. Got to have zero interest.
Okay, well, you want us to talk about your spirituality then, because the anger thing that kind of that segues in there.
Sure, yeah, that's a nice segue. Religion 8. Today's Easter, by the way. He is risen.
What do I do now?
And that you say he is risen indeed. He is risen.
But I'm not there yet.
All right. That's way
He
to,
might have.
way to stand your ground. I appreciate that. You're not just one.
That's how
of
you-
God. This is
that's
what
how
I like
you-
about you. This is what I like about you, man.
What?
Because you're not just gonna say it. You're gonna be like, well, I'll say if I think it. Wait, all these.
Oh, this is your thing.
This is part of my anger thing.
Go
This is
off,
just let me
queen.
say what I got angry about today, and this is not correct, right? But it's Easter, so a bunch of people come to church who never come to church, and it's like great that they're there, and it's good that they're visiting, and I like people visiting church, but they're just doing it because it's like I don't know why we do it, and it just makes me so upset because it's like, if you don't believe it, don't show up unless you're actually curious, right? To show up for like, it's what you do, like tradition's sake, is like, what are you doing? Just, it's so fake. I hate it. It's so fake. And again, like God can use any of those opportunities to change these people's hearts and whatever. And I don't think it's actually bad, but the inauthenticity tied to it, which is just rife, just bothers me so much. And then they get up and they take communion when literally up front the pastor is like, hey, if you don't believe this, do not take communion. And they're like, no, okay, whatever. And they just get up and take communion because they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That might just be like muscle memory from when they were kids.
well, I will say this guy goes up to me. I mean, you've been in my church, you haven't taken communion, but you've seen us take communion. And this guy goes up and like right before we take the bread and dip it in the wine, he like bows like that. And it's like, okay, this guy grew up going to a Catholic school.
Oh.
So it's like he goes to he thinks everything's Catholic or how they do it that way. Cause he's like, well, this is what you do.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, not here. We don't do that. And it just showed, to me, I see the bow and I'm like, this dude's going through the motions. It's fake. He shouldn't be taking this.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's just like, that's what runs through my mind. And like that level of judgment and anger, really at just the inauthenticity. That's what gets me upset. If they don't take communion or if they don't even show up, I respect that more
Right.
than, or like you not saying he's risen indeed. I respect that so much more than someone who just is like, he's risen indeed, and then gets up and takes communion and then leaves and goes, what was that? You know,
Sure.
it's like, you're like, yeah, we went to church because that's what you do. Why? Why are you living this fake life? Just cut it out. Really bothers me. So that's the anger that is in me. And yeah, I was upset yesterday when I saw you. Not when I saw you.
Right,
I saw
wow.
you and I just got
Jesus.
angry. I was annoyed yesterday. But just trying to continue talking it out with God instead of ruminating in my head just by myself. I want to ruminate with God. So instead of just saying it to myself, I want to pray it to God and be like, God, do you see? Blah, blah, blah. And I trust that. And when I do that, he like shows up in ways and calms me down.
Okay.
Because I think of his presence and his love for the people that I'm angry at. And then I think if God loves these people and I am just another one of these people, I'm not better than anybody. And God loves me. It does really help like calm me down and be like, okay, my perspective is not the only perspective. It's not the one that's right or whatever. And it really does help when I get angry to him.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. So that's something I'm working on. Overall, I'd say like 6.
Nice.
Spiritually. But yeah, anger is one of those weird things where like it's very uncomfortable and I don't like it and it's not justified. But it does bring me closer to the Lord when I remember to be angry at him.
Yeah.
Not to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a part of the practice that our modern like lives are make really difficult. Like reminding yourself to check back in instead of just either A, get distracted, or B, just let your emotions take hold.
Yeah.
Because it's
the spiraling,
it's
cycling.
so easy to feel whatever the discomfort is of that emotion and like perseverate on it, or just look at your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I love looking at my phone.
Dude, I get most angry for the most amount of time when I'm walking. Because I'm not looking at my phone. Like when I'm walking to a place, because I just have my
heroin
thoughts.
addict who needs heroin.
And then I'm walking and I'm like, God, I saw shit. But when I'm at my home, I don't get as mad.
That's what calms me down is walking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think when you're in the good headspace, I think walking puts you in a good headspace. And I think it does for me too. I just need to remember to direct it correctly.
Probably at the beginning of the walk. But if you walk for a while, I feel like it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Walk it out. Like little bow wow.
Now walk it out. Walk it out. No, walk it. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's good, man. Putting it out there is, it's a powerful thing. I had something like that this week as well, where it was just like I was anxious to do this thing because I'm taking these classes and then we're doing these role plays to like apply our knowledge of what we're learning. And the first time I did it, I kind of stunk at it, and I was like anxious about being judged. And then this time, before each role play, I would just be like, hey, however this goes, it's okay. I'm supposed to learn. Like restate. I used to do this in meetings when I had a job I hated that was like a corporate job, but I would remind myself like when I remembered to, I'd remind myself before the meeting, like, hey, these people might get mad at you because I was an auditor, so people hate you, right? Because your job is either giving them more work that they need to give to you, or telling them how they did that bad. So they fucking do not like you. You are a nuisance. I hate it when people don't like me. I can't handle it because I'm a child.
Sure.
And I would just be like, hey, this is how you learn. This is okay if it goes poorly. And it might not go poorly. Like, just let whatever happens. Try and stay calm and on your feet. And it went really well. And I see that as a form of prayer, because I'm putting it out. I'm putting it outside of myself, and I'm letting go to whatever is going on.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I did that night, and then the next day it kind of carried over. I had like a job where I had a bunch of stuff to do that I didn't know how to do it, and I just told the client like I will try to figure this out. It was all about being open and honest, not just with myself, but with God and with the people around me. And man, way better. Dude. And then I forgot that, and I was anxious for the rest of the day.
Oh, damn it.
It lasts like this.
Dude, transparency and moving from a place of honesty.
Yeah.
Like instead of hiding to the client that you don't know what to do. But the fact that you're like, hey, listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. Like you have the freedom to live honestly.
Yeah.
Even if that's not the way you want to, even if you're not the best at it, at least you're not like letting somebody down.
Yeah.
You're all on the same page.
Also, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to
be transparent,
to just say what it is.
Sure. Well, dude,
you're just saying the facts,
but you don't because you're scared, and not just you, but like we don't because we're scared.
Because we're predicting. We think that we know what is going to happen.
Yes. If I
we
say
think
this,
that they're going to react negatively, so then you get all tied up in your stupid brain, and it's like you have no idea.
Exactly.
Just
exactly.
Say what's happening right now.
Right.
And then that will help deal with it. But
if I said, but we think it won't help. We think
Yeah.
it's going to ruin it. We think it's actually going to be like, if I press on the gas here, I'm going to blow up the whole thing. It's like, no, you'll
It's
move
so
forward a
funny.
little bit.
It's so silly. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I've learned this big lesson that is simple and helpful. And I got to look at my phone for a little bit and forget this.
Yeah.
And then it's gone until I remember it again, maybe a week later. Like it just,
Well, that's what's weird,
You
'cause-
gotta keep fucking doing it, which of course you do. That's life. But it's just funny how potent something can be, and it still wears off.
Well, and it wears off immediately because you learn a big lesson. You
Yeah.
go, oh my gosh, that lesson was amazing. Like I need to be transparent, and and the way I would put it too is like, God loves me where I am, so I have the safety to be honest and trust that He's in control and He's loving me, and that things will go well ultimately. Even if they're hard now, they will go well ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learn that lesson, and then I'm like, cool. Now what?
Yeah.
And you
sure.
just like the moment of the euphoria, the eureka moment, then wears off, and you're like, so anyways, me just.
I hate my phone.
It's just like-
I hate my phone so
It's crazy.
much.
It's just like you're like, what? That's life changing. It's just got a text.
Just gotta look at this quick reel.
Yeah, it's crazy how that like grounds you in a bad way, or maybe I'd say
just locks you back into seeing life without being involved in it, and then
Yeah.
developing an idea of how things are without really being where you are.
because we can't stand, even if not everything is like this crazy big moment of discovery.
Yeah.
the moments in between that of not discovering, we can't have those.
Yeah, just
We're like, I
quiet
still
or
need dopamine.
unknowing, just not knowing.
Just being like, what's going on? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here. What? You're just sitting there?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, often I did this the other day. I found myself doing it kind of accidentally. I was just laying on the couch here and I wasn't doing like anything. The TV wasn't on. I wasn't on my phone. I was just kind of sitting thinking.
Sure.
And I was like, the last time I did this, I was like 7.
Sure.
The last
yeah.
time you just sit down at your home,
Right.
and just think.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite memories is when we had a cat. Just laying in the sun with my cat,
Yeah.
just playing. They're not just thinking about stuff, just laying down thinking.
Sure.
Like best memories of my life.
Really?
I mean, up there for sure.
You never
Just
had like a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese?
No. My parents would never throw me a birthday party.
Oh.
I mean, we had like family parties,
Yeah.
and my parents would let me invite a couple people, and we'd go bowling.
Dude, bowling rips.
Yeah,
We should go bowling
I was in
today.
3rd and 4th.
I want to go bowling so bad.
That sounds awesome. I would love to do that.
Let's go bowling.
Yeah. All right, we're like at an hour.
Yeah, cancel it. Don't post it.
No, post it. 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This has been good. This has been another episode of Call Him Father. All right.
Honestly, if we post it now and people still only watch 3 minutes, that's better for our ratio.
That's actually, thanks for watching 10% of it this
What
time.
if we
instead
just
of-
posted 3 minutes of every episode?
with no feet in it.
No, it's got to be feed.
Okay.
But every single episode we chop into 3-minute blocks and then post those. Do you think people would think that's annoying?
I think that's annoying.
I think that is annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't like
I'm just
that.
trying to work the algorithm.
Dude, stop.
You're right.
Stop. We just got to
Anyway.
post as we're doing. We're doing fine. Listen, 125 people have subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
We
which
have
is
over-
really, like, honestly cool.
I'm eventually, I predict within the next
8 years.
6 months, our Instagram will have more followers than my personal comedy Instagram.
Low bar, but yeah.
Which is, I know, but that's insulting because my personal comedy Instagram just got over 800 people, which is so few. It's crazy. I went on a date with this girl, and we like earlier this year, and we followed each other on Instagram. And I followed with my comedy account, something I want to be my career. And I had 700 something followers, and she's just a girl and has 1,400 followers. I'm like, what?
Inflation.
Let's get into it.
All right.
Oh wait, spiritual
I
rating?
would say just that experience alone of like putting this out, being like, God, get me through it. I'm going to be fine regardless.
Yes.
And I trust that this is going to be okay. And whatever isn't okay about it, I'll learn from.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It just put me in a really good space. And it was not perfect, but it was good. John Steinbeck quote, East of Eden, now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good.
Oh,
It just really hits. So yeah, I'm gonna put myself at an 8. It's been a week of up and downs. It really is. It's like you're in a roller coaster, but you were in a roller coaster alone before, and now you're in a roller coaster with someone else.
Oh, that's so nice. And you want the picture now.
Yeah, but you show people the picture, and there's nobody else in that picture.
You go, what? Yeah. Oh, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. It's kind of what religion is.
Yeah,
it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
And there was someone there the whole time.
It's going to
be a big twist for some people.
Yeah. So yeah, that was nice. But in terms of religion too, I mean, the specific thing is just because I'm listening to like a Buddhist thing. I'm reading this. I'm reading I'm not reading the Bhagavad Gita, but I'm just reading that Quaker book still.
Oh, cool.
And which is Christian, but it's it's a side of Christianity that I don't think really anybody looks into anymore. You know, that you have Episcopal, you have Catholic, you have Presbyterian.
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands of denominations. It's not even worth saying all of them.
Yeah,
or any of them.
Right. So it's but yeah. So just in terms of precision, and for me, the scale of religion is like the getting into the actual type. That I'm down, but I feel more spiritual. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But,
yeah.
Anyway, less about us, more about the man of the hour, Moses. Well, you never get his last name.
Yeah, Moses Smith.
What does that smell? Did you fart?
I don't think so.
You should know.
What are you smelling?
I mean, maybe I didn't brush my teeth this morning. Anyway,
it was your microphones.
I think I have like a some type of like tumor on my smell vein.
Olfactory sense? No. I have never smelled this before.
Yeah.
It smells kind of nice.
Really?
Reminds me of it reminds me of the Evangelical Bookstore back in San Diego, which is now a brewery, Mike Hess Brewing, but it used to be a
wow, how the mighty have fallen.
Used to be a Christian. Well, it's funny because it was taken over by members of our church that started a brewery. So, yeah, it reminds me of the old Evangelical Christian Bookstore that used to be there before.
The Mike cover reminds you of an Evangelical Bookstore.
Yeah, we'd go there all the time. My mom was a church librarian, so we'd get stuff there.
Mine reminds me of an ass.
Same.
Did we
both dirty?
Both dirty places, dirty and unclean places. So we left off with the genealogy, right? That's the last thing we did.
Yes. So we pick up at 7.
Picking up at 7, Moses and Aaron before Pharaoh. So finally, they've got their background. God's told them what to do. Now they're putting it into action. They're going to meet Pharaoh. By the way, they're 80 and 83 years old.
Yeah, not spry.
Or Moses and Aaron, respectively. So they're really, I mean, they're doing a lot for. Everybody's like, oh, you need to retire at 75. No. You need to save the Hebrews at 80 and 83.
How crazy that he's like 80 and his excuses to not do this are like, I'm not a good talker. I can't do it. My thing would be like, I'm about to die.
Yeah.
Just let me go.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, we don't know like what this 80 is.
Yeah.
Like if he would actually be like 35 here.
Yeah, I feel like 80 back then would have been today's 50. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But even still, pretty impressive. So they go to the Pharaoh and they say, hey, you got to let my people go. Well, you know who says this is Aaron, because Moses is not a good talker.
Yeah.
Says, you got to let my people go. And you know who told me this is the Lord, which the Pharaoh doesn't even know who that guy is. Which he says. And does he do the snake thing?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Throw your staff down on the ground. Tell Aaron to throw his staff down on the ground and it'll turn into a serpent. And so he does. So Aaron, this is how you know we're talking from a God. Check this out. Bang. Throws it on the ground.
Which I got to say, as a reader who had not read this before, I kind of thought that was going to be a slam dunk. I thought that he was going to throw it on the ground. The Pharaoh's going to be like, no way.
Yeah.
But then the Pharaoh has like other magicians who like they all throw their spears on their staffs on the ground.
Yeah.
And they all turn into serpents. I was like, okay, well, this is just a party trick.
That's a crazy left turn. I did not see that.
I was like, oh, wow, everybody can do this?
Yeah, it's great. I guess that's not even special. Although I just thought of this right now. Kind of interesting how Pharaoh brought his trained magicians, to do this.
Okay, I know where you're
Moses and Aaron, they're just dudes. Sure. Aaron isn't like oh, by the way, I'm a magician. I practice. I studied under whoever. He just is a guy from Israel.
Yeah, but he could have done magic on the side. Everybody has a side.
Yeah, everyone has
hustle.
a hobby. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. He also brings out the string that splits into 3 strings and stuff.
What's the
it's an
cat's cradle?
It's an old school thing where he cuts the rope, but then it turns. Into one
Oh,
rope
okay,
again.
yeah.
He brings that too.
The rings that you can hit together. Like the things that you get in like a magician's. Like,
all right, now pull this apart. Try to pull this apart. See, he can't pull this apart.
Who's God now, Pharaoh?
Yeah,
Can't even
exactly.
pull rings apart.
So yeah, it's kind of he's just a guy. You know, they're trained magicians. But then Aaron's staff, former staff, now snake.
No snake. Former
Eats up-
staff, no snake.
Yeah, eats up all of the other snakes.
Staffs.
Staffs,
Staff
which were
snakes.
snakes. Yeah,
Snake
snakes.
staff.
So basically Aaron's like, okay, well, yeah, we're snakes, but God's like, but mine eats yours up.
Yeah, but
Which is
mine's
a
bigger
big
snake.
big time foreshadowing of kind of the result of a lot of these plagues that are coming down the pipe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just the dominance of the Lord through this. Even if you can do something that looks similar, the Lord is still dominant over.
Do you think
these-
though when they saw like every other staff turn to a snake, they were like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I was like, so take this. You're doing, huh? You're.
Oh, wow.
no. Also, though,
He did not tell us you guys had that.
I gotta think magicians. I don't know if the magician staves back then were like Gandalf's in Lord of the Rings. Remember when he
lot of
goes to
Tolkien
see
today.
Yeah, that's true. When he goes to see when he goes to Rohan. And then Wormtongue, he walks in with his staff, and then he's like, I told you to take the wizard's staff, because that's like his source of power. The staff was like their source of power back then. I mean, this is in Lord of the Rings. I don't know if this is the way it was back in Egypt.
Another book I haven't read.
But the idea being like these staves could have been sources of power for them, and now they're eaten up and they're gone. Like they don't have their staff anymore.
Oh, okay.
That probably sucks. They'd be
Okay.
like, well, my staff got eaten. Like if that's the source of their, I guess it's not, because you see them doing things later on.
They
too.
do other more magic.
Yeah, they do
But the
more
staff trick, it seems like, was the trick of the day.
Yeah, probably pretty common.
Man, I would hate to mix up my snake or my snake and
Was that your staff? Was that
Duh, which
mine?
one's mine?
Like you grab it, you need to grab yours for it to become a staff again.
Yeah, if you're
you
the
just
wrong
grab it,
guy.
like, is it okay? That's the
Okay.
right one.
Okay, so and because the Pharaoh kind of ignores the snake eating the other snakes.
Yeah.
He just kind of sees that his magicians can do the same thing, so his heart hardens. Well, God hardens his heart. That part's confusing.
Yeah.
And so he says, no, you guys can't go anywhere. So then we get the first plague.
First plague, water turned to blood.
So Aaron goes over the Nile, waves his staff, which he still has,
Yeah, that's right.
and it turns the entire Nile River into blood. Everything gets stinky. And
Stinky,
it even
gross.
turns other water that's already been taken out of the Nile into blood. So like I guess the point of that was that like this isn't just from natural causes. That's why
Yeah.
they added that detail. It's not like there was like an iron patch that got hit and made the water red.
Sure.
It was like God did this because it even affected water that was taken out of the Nile.
Yeah.
So everything's, and then all the frogs die from the Nile blood, and then the magicians show that they can also make water into blood, but they can't turn it back.
That is true,
Did I miss
yeah.
anything?
They take I don't know if they said the frogs die. They said the fish die.
Or the fish die? Sorry,
Yeah, because
the
frogs are coming up.
important.
Frogs are coming up. And he lifted up his staff, the water to the Nile, and the water Nile turned into blood. Fish died. Nile stank. Couldn't drink of the water of the Nile. It actually said that people started digging next to the Nile. Like the Egyptians started digging next to the Nile for water because they're like, well, the Nile's filled with blood. Maybe underneath in the land here.
Sure.
Like you dig at the beach and you hit water eventually. They were like trying
Yeah.
to do that to find water that wasn't blood because they're just running out of,
Yeah.
because they just need water.
And it lasts 7 days.
7 days.
So the Nile's kind of having its time of the month.
Yeah. 7 days. That's a heavy flow.
Well, some people have it.
Yep. And
Egyptians.
Egyptians have that.
Yeah.
You know that about Egyptians.
I know everybody
Their-
knows that about
their
Egyptians.
heavy periods. Shout out to our Egyptian fans. So then it says Pharaoh's heart remained hard. When they turned it back, it was just like Pharaoh's just like, no. Remained hardened, and he would not listen to them as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned and went to his house, and he did not take even this to heart. And then it says, and all the Egyptians dug along the Nile for water to drink, for they could not drink the water of the Nile. Think about also how much the Pharaoh is neglecting his own people, right? Like, the Nile turned into blood. Horrific news for all Egyptians. And Pharaoh's like, yeah, I'm not going to let him go. Like, his own people are suffering because of this, and he's not looking after them, you know? Otherwise, he'd be like, all right, you're hurting all my folks here. Get the hell out of here, you know? And he's just like, I don't care.
Bummer.
Big bummer.
A guy in power not being respectful and thinking of the people he is in power over.
It's like, I'm glad that times like those are over.
Thank God.
Times like those have passed.
Whew.
Now we have leaders that are filled with empathy, that care about their subjects.
Yeah.
Is that how we should start referring to citizens now? Subjects?
We,
Back to like
we
kingdom
might as well.
monarch times?
We might as well.
All right. I'm not,
I mean, it's not a political podcast.
But it could be. You think these feet-liking people like politics too?
I think they're pretty locked into one and one thing
Dude,
only.
I bet there's maybe like one super far right sock jerker.
Yep. Oh, I think a lot of them are probably. I think if you're like heavily on the internet, you're going to one violent end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to have a moderate. It's like, well, there's a lot of good feet
out there. There's good feet on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Egyptian wizards, they are doing the frogs now.
Yeah. Then the frogs hop out of the Nile and all over, like crazy amount of frogs. I will say, and maybe this is worth saying, actually, no, it's probably good to say near the beginning of the plagues. A lot of these plagues do seem like they would follow almost naturally.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what the blood would do, but something that happens to the Nile would drive the frogs away from the Nile.
Yes.
And then the frogs die eventually because they're frogs.
Right.
And they don't have water. And then you get a bunch of bugs. Of course.
Gnats and then flies.
So yeah, the livestock dying, I mean, they don't have water either. Boils, I don't know what makes boils.
Boils could have been diseases from, I mean, if we're trying to make them all a disease from the livestock passed to the people.
Sure. Right.
So that they all have boils. Also, that would have been stuck. Well, I mean, we're jumping ahead here, but yeah, let's actually get back to just the frogs. I mean, these are, I don't know how much diving in there needs to be for each individual plague.
No,
I
not
guess.
that many. But
well, if I had done more studying, because I know each of these plagues does respond to a specific Egyptian god.
Yeah, so the point of the plagues was to like show that God is overpowering all of these big Egyptian gods.
Yes.
I assume the livestock has to do with Isis, my favorite Egyptian god.
Yes, exactly. They have a new chapter.
Yeah.
The Egyptian god Isis. Mm-hmm. Getting a lot done.
Has a lot less to do with livestock, though.
Yeah, more like death stock.
Whoa. No, I mean, not bad, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not a pun guy. I just don't, that's not really my
Take pride in that.
It's not really my world. So if I take a swing at all, thank you.
Yeah, so basically he sends frogs. The frogs come in. They come into the people's houses. They die, and the land stinks. The land stinks.
Again, stinks.
Yeah.
Imagine, the smell. Oh, dude.
Dude, we put a bunch of frogs in my friend's place when we were kids.
Really?
And, shout out Brian Chapman. And
Brian, get effed, dude.
Yeah.
Ow.
Really, really regret that, and I'm sorry, but we were kids, and at the time, I mean, you shouldn't have left your window open when you were on vacation, but at the time...
On vacation, the window open?
Unlocked.
Cruising for a bruising.
We opened his window and we put a bunch of frogs in his house, and I regret that to this day, and I'm sorry, and I've apologized to him, but apparently it stinks. I guess was the
I imagine.
Yeah, dead frogs in your house stinks.
You know what else stinks?
What?
On the way to church this morning, you see people. Okay, and it's Easter, so people are like more dressed up or whatever. So you're seeing people on the platform like in a suit and like all this stuff. Kind of interesting. Get into the train, right? Everyone kind of gets on, wanders around. There's a homeless guy sitting there, so people just kind of naturally sit away from him just because he's asleep, and everyone's scared.
Yeah.
And so I sat down like kind of close to him because he was asleep, and whatever.
And you're not scared.
And then, dude, you sit down, and then 3 to 4 seconds later,
You got hit with the stink?
Unreal, dude.
What? Yeah, but
Unreal.
You've been here long enough to know that's what's going to happen.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because there have been so many homeless people sleeping that do not end up smelling like that do not have the smell.
Okay.
And this smell was like, yikes, dude. And I sat down and I was like, you know what? It's not great. I can handle this. And it's one of these weird things where this is like, I don't know how to interpret this or the best way to do it. But like as a Christian person, I'm like, this person is a person. They matter. They exist.
They stink.
They stink, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to change cars because it makes me feel like I'm treating this guy less. I'm not helping him at all. I'm just, it's my own. It's
still all about you.
Yeah, it's my own pride. But I'm like, I don't want to leave and make this guy, he's asleep. He doesn't know that anything's happening. And whole car. Like people went to the other side of the car and in between stops to try and escape. Couldn't escape.
Yeah.
And then I did relent and I moved to the car the next stop. But there's a part of me that's like, as a Christian person, is that wrong of me?
Because Jesus hung out with
he didn't say any of them
lepers.
stunk though.
I think lepers probably stink bad.
Lepers probably do stink.
When you're melting.
Yeah, it's just, but also, I mean, maybe this is a lack of faith in me, but Jesus was hanging out with them and he's like, oh yeah, but I could heal all of this immediately.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, if I could heal this guy, I'd go up to him and be like, be well, smell.
Yeah.
And it was just the
you
smell.
wouldn't fix his economic situation. You would just Febreze him.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be what?
Right.
Just spray him down.
You'd put one of those car trees on his
on his ear.
On his ear,
He's
yeah.
asleep and you just put that around him.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, smell. Point being, smell is nasty. Smell gets you, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine a country full of frogs. You don't have another car to run to.
Yeah.
It's just around.
And it
Oh
doesn't
my
affect
gosh.
the pharaoh. He's got servants and shit to clean it up. But the regular normal people, they have to deal with all this stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's another thing about the plagues is they slowly get closer and closer to the pharaoh, right? Like he can maybe get the frogs out of his house, but the gnats and the flies, these things start affecting.
Gnats is 3, flies are 4.
Yeah,
roll those together.
The gnats is when the magicians, the wizards of Egypt, they can't even do it. They can't make it.
I had a theory as to why that is. I think that's because it's about a conjuring of life. I think like they're turning something into. But I guess the
Conjuring sounds grosser.
Conjuring.
Conjuring. I conjured a fart.
Oh, ew.
Conjuring. Yeah, I think
I get it. I get conjuring. I mean, I think you're probably right. But anyways, they were conjuring
They were conjuring
these gnats. And I feel like I heard that somewhere. But then also with
that it's bringing up life, whereas
life from like nothing. But also they threw the staffs on the ground that became a snake. So
yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think
It just led us down.
Yeah,
a
I
dead
don't know
end
what it
here.
is either. I don't want to make any assumptions, but
I do.
it is a weird one. But yeah, I'm glad that you pointed out the like kind of natural cause of things. But that gets okay. We'll get there. Gnats, then flies. Nobody likes the flies.
Flies suck.
Also, pretty much all of these, not all of them, but a lot of these, the way it begins is the Lord says to Moses, and then it ends with the Pharaoh's heart was hardened as the Lord said it would be.
And each time Pharaoh's like, okay, tell him to stop, tell him to take it away. Takes it away.
Yeah.
Changes his mind.
He just keeps
make it
not
stop.
learning.
Yeah.
Despite being like, pretty graciously rewarded.
But also, I think maybe, what about this? As we were looking at this, we know there's 10 plagues, right? So after each one, we're like, well, God's going to hit him with another plague. Pharaoh probably thought each time, well, God, like doubting the strength of their God.
Sure.
Being like, well, God can't do another plague.
Right.
Well, okay, gnats, but that's it.
That is dumb. Like if he did the first one, if you think he did the first one, why wouldn't you think he did the second one?
Because I think they lived in a time where they didn't believe in an all-powerful God. They believed in a God over individual things.
Yeah, that had like stamina points.
Yeah, like, well, your God is a God of rain. He can't, kill livestock.
Oh, it sucks so bad to be the God of flies and gnats.
Yeah, that's like, I'm gnat and fly gnat guy. So it's like he's saying, okay, so cool. Your God is over 2 things. Okay, 3 things. Okay, 4 things. Okay, 5. Okay, so it's like it just keeps getting larger and larger and larger.
Yeah.
The understanding of the power of God,
Yeah.
because they think that it's a local God, a God over a few things, not God of everything.
Right.
Which is, of course, what Moses is claiming. This is the I am, the God of existence.
And so it not only it's not only supposed to reinforce to the Pharaoh and the Egyptians the power of this new God, but it's also for the Hebrews to show them like, hey, look who's behind you.
This is the God that's saving you.
Look who's the people. Look who's got your back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the flies come, and then come the livestock. And they all the Egyptian livestock die. All the Hebrew livestock, they're fine. All the they're not. Are the Israelites yet?
Hebrews, maybe.
Hebrews, we'll go with
Hebrews.
Hebrews.
Yeah, they don't see Israelites yet. Yeah, the Hebrews. I think you could talk about the flies being local to Egypt. And the flies bring disease.
Okay.
Disease get on the livestock die. The livestock disease gets to the humans, which gives them boils.
Okay.
And so it does seem like there's a natural progression down from the Nile being blood, step 1, into, and I should really look at a map of Egypt, but in terms of like Goshen, like where the Hebrews were, how much the Nile, like how close are they to the Nile? How reliant were they on the same
I think
thing?
they thought Goshen was a part of a delta. So if it's a part of a delta, it's fed by the Nile, right? It's fed by a river.
It's fed by, because the Nile goes up. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I imagine it would affect them too, but the frogs, which brought the gnats, which brought the flies, if frogs came up out of the Nile, but were only local to Egypt. Again, it is weird because it's kind of this thing where it's like there could be a naturalistic explanation to these things, but the fact that it all happened in conjunction, I don't know. It just seems, I'm not against this commingling of God using nature in a miraculous way.
Sure.
Which some Christians feel threatened by.
Right.
It needs to be a pure miracle.
Individual acts of will.
Yes.
But that's kind of how it's presented.
Yeah, which I think makes sense because these people, they might not know how
the ecosystem works.
Yeah, how the ecosystem works. So they look at it like, that's a miracle. And God's like, it's literally just how things work.
Yeah.
Because God's omniscient. He knows everything. To us, things might look like a miracle, but he's like, it's not. Okay, cool.
All right. But there is a bit of a, you want to say anything more about the livestock dying?
No.
Okay.
Boils. Pharaoh gets boils.
Pharaoh gets boils?
And
his magicians can't come up to...
Can't stand before Moses because the boils came up upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. So, and I think this is one that...
I guess it implies that he gets them?
Yeah, I guess maybe. It's not explicit, but...
Okay, because I got it as the magicians get the boils.
And it is getting close, as you were saying earlier, it is getting closer to Pharaoh himself, to affecting him.
And then we get to the 7th plague, which is hail. This is the first... written evidence that we get of the Jews controlling the weather. So, well, it seems like a conspiracy theory. It's in their own damn book.
It's in their thing. It's in their thing.
So we didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
We just kept it burning with the power of anti-Semitic social media.
Yes, exactly. And they started the hail.
Which is, I should say, rampant and bad right now.
Yeah.
So, don't fall for it.
Anti-Semitism, bad.
Boom.
Pro-Semitism, also somehow bad. I don't really get it.
Pro-Semitism.
I don't understand. I mean, I have a joke on stage that's saying that basically.
Sure.
Dude, everyone...
It's a confusing world we live in.
Yeah, man. Everyone's anti-Nazi. No one's pro-Jew. It's like, all right, pick a lane.
Hey, moderates.
Dude, I know it's good to be in the middle. Although some people hate moderates.
A lot of people hate moderates. I think most people hate moderates because...
Well, I think most people are moderate.
Yeah, but what am I trying to say? I don't know, so we're going to move on.
Okay.
Really quickly bailing out of that.
Okay, hail.
Hail. Really crazy hail that is hurting people. And then there's a part in here where it's like, those who take shelter will be saved.
Yes.
It's like it's kind of a double entendre.
God's giving people a way out.
Yeah. Those who believe in the power of God and take shelter in faith will be saved, and also literal shelter will be saved. The hail fucks up all the crops, a lot of the crops. And then, and the reason I say not all the crops is because then there's this like kind of poetry about how some things are hurt by the hail and some things aren't, which necessitates the locust that will come after. But the flax and the barley were struck down, for the barley was in the ear and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the emmer were not struck down, for they are late in coming up. So it's almost like those who were stubborn, like those who were like ready to kind of be turned over in the ear, those who are more open-minded or maybe even more vulnerable to being turned, they got hit. They're done at the hail. This is enough of a show of power that they're converted, right?
Okay.
But those who are more entrenched in their ways, like the Pharaoh, they're going to need even more evidence, and then the locusts come.
Wow, I like that.
That's what I thought when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Yeah, also late in coming up, I think that also kind of can say what time of year this was happening at too.
Oh,
You know?
interesting.
Saying like they were late in coming up in terms of late of the year, like it was not their time, so they're not up yet. It also shows like, you know, you kind of assume that these 10 plagues happen like bang, 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 bang.
Well,
maybe
that's what I was wondering what the timeline was.
Yeah, maybe and this is so look-upable. I don't know why I didn't do that. But it's like, okay, cool, plague, this happened then. And then like maybe a month later, the plague had this, you know, all of these plagues didn't happen necessarily in like a week, you know, because I mean,
it makes it seem like he talks to him the next day. I mean, there's a couple of specific references where the Pharaoh uses the word tomorrow.
Yeah.
He says, I will please have this end tomorrow. And then when he kind of goes back on his promises of letting them go, God uses the term tomorrow to like rub it in like, hey, you said you're going to do this tomorrow and you didn't, so I'm going to spite you with another plague tomorrow. So anyway, we're kind of all over the place here, but you know, we're doing our best. So then you get the 8th plague, which is locusts. The locusts come because of a wind. It pushes them into Egypt, and then they finish the business of crop destruction that was started by the hail. And so they eat everything. They cover the land in themselves, which covers the land in like a darkness. Mm-hmm. That is foreshadowing the next plague, which the next plague is weird. It's just complete darkness. It's like an eclipse or something.
Really fast. The 10, just as a quick Google search, it says the 10 plagues of Egypt likely spanned around 40 days.
Whoa. 40 days and 40 nights.
Of what?
The Josh Hartnett movie where he can't have sex for 40 days?
What? That's impossible. That's a lot. No way.
No way. Or maybe it's that he's trying to have sex 40 days and 40 nights straight. No, it's the opposite.
Ew.
It's the opposite. I like that guy.
40 days and 40 nights, rain on the earth. Noah, the ark.
Oh.
Where it rained 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days of plagues. These numbers seem to repeat themselves.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
So that's kind of that. Sorry, that's what I was looking up. So granted, I didn't really hear the last thing you said before that.
You didn't hear the last thing I said?
Yeah, about darkness. About prior to you saying the 9th plague was darkness. Locusts, which ate everything.
Locusts destroyed everything. Pharaoh's like,
ate up everything.
Please make it stop. Moses is like, okay, let us go. And then he's like, okay, you can't go.
Yeah, how crazy! But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let
plagues in.
8 plagues
That's what's
in.
crazy. I mean, I understand that is to paint the picture of like, look at how entrenched in like being right or in power people can be, and how dangerous that is to those who are they're in power over.
Yeah.
But 8. I mean, I hope, and I this probably isn't true, but I hope if I get slapped in the face 8 times, eventually I learn to duck.
Dude, I think if we could look back at our lives,
I don't want to.
We will see that we've been slapped in the face thousands of times.
Yeah, I know. From the same.
And we're like, what is going on? It just, and we're just like, what needs to change?
That's a good point.
And so I think it's interesting because these plagues are so obvious to us.
Right.
But again, based on Pharaoh's worldview and his understanding that he's a god, you understand, he thinks he's a god. To relent to another god is to say, I'm not God. That's such a worldview change for him. He's been raised his entire life that he is God.
Yeah.
And now he's got to be like, I'm not that, you know?
That's true.
That's crazy. And it's a humbling thing too. I mean, how much does that suck?
Yeah.
You think you're God? That's got to be embarrassing. You basically got to come out in front of all the Egyptians, all of your subjects who are expected to serve you and you rule over it, and you basically go, hey guys, I'm not as great as I thought I was.
Right.
Like that's
And this
embarrassing.
is after you've already probably responsible for a couple of them dying.
And also that's the thing. They probably hate you,
Yeah.
right? One of the big reasons they're not doing anything against you is because they think you're a god.
Right.
Well, he's a god. I can't go against a god. But then after hurting all of them, he goes, hey guys, by the way, I am just a human. They're like, oh, let's kill that dude. That dude sucks.
Sure.
And that probably almost assuredly did not happen, or would be their what would happen. But well, I guess we'll see what happens eventually. But
okay. And so then the 9th place comes, which is darkness. It's just dark as shit.
yeah,
God turns off the lights and everybody's just scared of the darkness.
yeah,
This one is the one where I was like, I don't know what I was supposed to get out of this.
darkness for 3 days, foreshadowing what?
I don't know.
Jesus is 3 days in the grave.
Oh, really?
Well, sure.
Sure.
Why not?
Okay. I guess that makes sense. I just haven't read that part yet. So
Yeah, pretty shocking that you haven't jumped ahead at all.
yeah.
Yeah. So Bamos said, "You must let us have sacrifice." Oh, wait. Sorry. Because, what does it say? There was pitch darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the people of Israel had light where they lived.
Oh, wow.
So all the Israelites were like, well, people of Israel. I think that's, people of Israel, because Israel at the time was Jacob's descendants, because Jacob's name was Israel. So
Right.
they could be called Israelites. It's not a geographic thing like we see it now.
Right.
So yeah, just, the Israelites all had light. They're like, yeah, everything seems good, just crazy. It's like Egyptians, go over there.
Just go over there.
Why wouldn't you just go over there?
Dude, but the amount of you'd risk bumping your shin so many times on the walk over, and what is more aggravating
than bumping a shin
in the dark?
Dude, you
got some shin bumps.
I've got so many shin bumps.
What the hell?
Ran into a cement bench in 6th grade. A few months ago, I was box jumping and I hit the edge and I came down on both my shins.
Everybody fucks themselves up on box jump.
Yeah, and I just
keep doing it when you're tired.
Well, also, I was crushing. I was getting like really good height on mine. I was kind of killing it right now. And then I like lost focus for a second, kicked, hit, just bumping your shins.
Yeah,
so good. So imagine that for 3 days.
That would stink.
That's why they're like, I can't walk anywhere.
This is the last one.
I'm not going out. I can't walk anywhere. This sucks.
This is also like, I can't remember if it's this one or the other one, but the people, the servants, the people closest to the Pharaoh, even they are like, dude, you gotta capitulate to these guys.
Yeah, please.
So
bad.
They're fucking us up so bad.
Yeah.
One thought I did have is like, and like, this is a thing we'll keep coming back to over and over again, but it feels like with the plague and the going back to Pharaoh and then the hardening of the heart, which is done by God, but also the Pharaoh's choice, or like God's punishment for the Pharaoh's choice by continuing to harden his heart. Mm-hmm. It seems like this is all it could be seen as it's all a way to like show God's power.
Yeah.
Like, this could be avoided, but God needs to show his power.
Right. Back then, power was what people reacted to. And that's weird because that is like also super evolutionary,
Okay.
Power wins. Like that is true. That is like evolution is not a merciful, forgiving thing. Evolution is like destroy or be destroyed. And that is just how people kind of operated back then. Mm-hmm. It's like whoever has the most power gets control, obviously. That makes the most sense.
Okay.
And so God is like, yeah, that's me. And who I choose to champion are a weak people. I don't champion based on their own power. It is because of my power and from my power that I choose to love the weakest, showing himself to be a good God, like a merciful God, not one who loves people based on their power.
Sure, but I guess there's also the element of, okay, you have all this power, but if you are part of the process in which it is needed to be exercised, couldn't you just intervene in a less stinky, people dying way? Like, if you are continually hardening the Pharaoh's heart, so that you have to ramp up your power more and more, could you not just soften the heart?
Sure. I mean, I think that is, again, we could have done more research into this in terms of how it's responding to each of Egypt's gods and like discounting those. So like counteracting those in a way that would last with Egypt. I'm sure not for generations down. They'll be like, there was one god a couple hundred years ago that just wrecked us. You know what I mean? So I think there's that aspect of it. Oh shoot. But again, I think like everything operating off of power, that is what the people responded to. So it's like, if you don't kill us, like God could have, made like, let's say they did. I mean, they did have at this time, I think date wise, the pyramids were there. I think, like that's what people are saying.
Okay.
Or that the Jews when they were there built them. That's what who knows?
Okay.
But like, let's say that God's like, as a miracle to prove my power to you, I will make 3, pyramid, and God just waved his hand and they were there.
Yeah.
I think people at the time would be like, cool, nice.
Sure.
But that's not like, they're like, I don't care. That doesn't threaten me.
It doesn't.
That's not my life.
Make
That's
a
not
lasting impact.
Well, it's not what they react to. It's like someone saying, hey, look at my magic trick on the street. It's like, okay, cool. That's a very cool magic trick. But if someone's like, the thing that I respect is power. Back then, what people respect is life and death. That's all they,
Only back then.
Only back then. Now,
thank God we're over that now, too.
Again, we're just in a better place now. We have empathetic leaders. Life and death is not everything. I mean, we're caring about a world. Globalization's going amazing.
So good.
I mean, it's just, we are blessed. So I think like that was what they responded to, was power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it will always come back to this like confusing thing about free will and whatever the extent of God's power in our choices.
Yeah. His sovereignty. It's a crazy paradox. And again, it's why it's been written about ad nauseum since forever. So.
Okay, well, we got to stop there because that's when I stopped reading. But it's also
Ninth Plague. That's actually a perfect place to stop.
Yeah. Look forward in the future. The final plague is coming. We're at 9. The next one's 10.
10.
And that one's going to be, there's a lot of
doozy.
There's a lot of like, what is it when you're warming up for sex?
Foreplay
for that one. You got to do it the correct way. You don't want to just go straight into the final plague.
I will say, oh man, if we had done this a couple weeks earlier, not done that, but if we had started everything a couple weeks earlier and shifted this, we could have lined it up perfectly with the season we're in right now of Easter.
Oh, okay.
And Passover.
Yeah. Well,
because that's the beginning of this. But anyways,
too bad.
Yeah. Well, shucks.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
Yeah, no, that's all we have. That's all we can say.
That's all we're going to say on this episode
Shucks.
of
Call Him Father.
Thanks for listening, and come back. Please, God, come back.
Come back.